Hi everybody, welcome back to Arma Reforger, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to play single player conflict with some help from some friendly AI. Now please remember that Arma Reforger and the mods associated with the Arma Reforger are in a state of flux. You know, this game is advancing at a rapid pace, as are the mods. So by the time you come to watch this video, there may well be better mods or better ways of doing this. But at the moment, you can kind of do it like this. Now what we're going to do, I'm on the PC version of Reforger, where we can host our own instances of the game. Unfortunately, if you're on the Xbox version of Reforger, you can't host your own instances and kind of do this like this. The way that you have to do it is by owning your own server and installing a similar mods that I'm going to show you we're going to host here, and then running that and then logging in and doing it. But I just wanted to show you kind of like this to give you an idea of how it works. So we go to host new server, and we want to change it to conflict. And it's a great way of learning conflict as well, how things operate, the supply especially, and building things, and how building different structures at capture points then affects the game as it moves forward. So we've changed it to conflict. We're going to go to mods. Now this is where things can get a little bit complicated. So I'm only going to install hopefully the minimum mods we need to make this sort of work. So we're going to install SpaceCore, and we're going to install, here we go, as we come down, Quick Builder, that's an important one to have. Heli Door Gunners, just because I like having guns on the helicopters, we might not even use them where I am, definitely. The M113 APC, because we're going to transport some AI around in it. Disable Game Master budgets, very, very important. And then the final one is the one that makes us a lieutenant when we start. I've probably already gone past it. Let's see if we conflict lieutenant at start. And what that one does is make sure when we first spawn in, we don't spawn in as like a PFC or private or something like that. We spawn in as a lieutenant, which means we can build things that we need. Okay, so we've got all those settings, password, set a password to get on, whatever that might be. Now admin password, very important in this. Make sure you set an admin password and remember what it is. And now we're going to host this locally. So this is going to create a game of conflict. Now obviously the problem with hosting a game of conflict on your local PC like this is that at the moment anyway, at the time of recording the video, it doesn't save the state. So once we leave and it closes, it'll be gone. And so this is another reason why actually doing this on your own server can be really cool, because on your server it will remember where things are, which capture points you've captured. It does remember things like players and squads that have spawned in via the game mechanics, but it doesn't remember things like vehicles you've spawned in. So here we go. So continue. So we're going to be the US Army. Yes please. Atlas Red. Yes please, let's go in, and we're starting at Arizona. So let's deploy there. In we go. And what will happen is when we deploy, we'll be deploying as a lieutenant, which means we can build stuff. So here we go. So we started off, we haven't got much at all. And obviously by ourselves, if we were to wander off and try and capture Nebraska at Hornbeam Valley, at Idaho at Andres Beacon, we're not going to last very long, because there'll be plenty of NPC enemies and they'll take us out. And they'll also be coming towards us, actually. There's probably a patrol on its way as we speak. So what we can do is, if we bring up the global chat with / and then we log in, so you go #login and then put your admin password in, you will then get Game Master rights. Okay, so now we're going to Game Master. Let's edit the scenario properties down in the bottom left hand corner with V, or we can click on it. Let's just make it sunrise there. And then at the top, first thing, global supply usage. Now we're going to turn that off, so that means everything's free. Now this isn't that good when you want to learn how the supply works, driving trucks backwards and forwards to different capture points, but what it does mean is we can spawn things in what we want to. Then if we scroll down to the bottom, the other important one is enable Game Master budgets. We turn off, we say no, because that means we can again spawn too many things in. Now do remember If you spawn too much stuff in, the server will become unstable, and there's a good chance that it will crash. So we'll save and close that. Right, okay, so what we can do now is, if we want to, we can, what you should see is all these teams are now available to us. So what we can spawn in a infantry squad, say here, and then we can give it a defend order and say, right, I want you to defend this area. So these soldiers now are going to defend our area here, which is pretty cool, isn't it? And what we could also do as well is we get in the entity system, let's bring up a composition, and we could say, right, okay, so let's put in some defensive positions for these chaps as well. So on and so forth. So we could put a few of these around, and we could build up our base, kind of cheating because we're using Game Master to put things in. So for example, we could go into the systems. In fact, let's go in here. Let's turn off. So just have USA. Let's have systems, and let's say we wanted to spawn in a living quarters. Now, living quarters are very important because what they enable you to spawn in.
All stations, this is Alpha Main. There's a new barracks at Point Arizona. Out.
They allow you to spawn in soldiers to defend the place. So if you've captured a point and you build a barracks there, you can then request soldiers from that barracks. They will then come out and they will defend that area. Or, as you'll see in a minute, we can use them to come with us. So let's go back to player's character. So what I could do now is, if I come over here and I go over here, I can request personnel, and it will say, right, well, what do you want then? And let's say I want a light infantry team, and let's just plonk them down there. And when you request soldiers from a barracks, they'll automatically go to a defend situation. They're designed to defend this sort of area. So if we come out of here, if we go back to the HQ like so, if I was to build here as well, I can now put in other things as well. Now the game will remember these sorts of stuff, so we could put in, say, a helipad. It's not very flat, is it, around here? Okay, let's just put one in like that. Now we are going to have to go and build up with our trenching tool, and we could put in a light vehicle maintenance point. I don't know, there maybe. And then what we would have to do is, if we want these to appear, we run over to them, we press 0 to bring up our spade, and then we can build these. Actually, there is a mod that I haven't added which enables you to build faster. I think it's called Build Quickly or something like that. Oh, I must have it. I must have it because they're there. Now, sometimes when you're building things, it's not always completely obvious where you've got to stand to actually build them. But if you wander around the blueprint until it appears, there you're good. A helipad has been constructed. So there we go. So once you've built something, you can then normally request things. So let's go around here. Here we go. I can't. There we go, request helicopter. There we are, and now we can take that and we can put a helicopter on there. Again, because we're not having to pay anything, we've turned off the requirement for supplies. And then, so we could do the same, we could build up this operating base, you know, we could have an armory as well. That would be quite important, wouldn't it? That's one thing we should have, so that we can change our weapon. So you can do all that sort of stuff, and you can have your armory. So now you're saying, well, okay, so how do we take these AI with us? Well, there's a number of ways of doing it. What we can do is we can, if we go into Game Master, I'm going to spawn in a armoured vehicle. So let's go back here. Oop, don't want that. Let's go into the entity browser. Here we go. So let's spawn in an M113. Okay, so let's spawn an M113. And now what I can do is I can say to a squad, we don't, what do we want? Light infantry team. I can say, get in. So I can say, get in there. And what should happen is they're either going to get in that vehicle or they're going to get in this vehicle. Here they go. Right. So let me spawn back. Now what they should do is they should get in all the passenger seats and the gunner seat, but they shouldn't get into the driver's seat. Alright. And it'd be nice if they opened up the ramp. Okay, so now I can get in. Looks like I need to put the handbrake on though. Sometimes you've got to get in as a passenger first. And then let's get in as the driver. And then normally, yeah, we can now close the ramp. Like so. We've got to go to third person. Start up. Right, let's look on the map. So we need to go, say, southeast to Idaho, don't we? That way. Okay, which is, let's have a look. Or maybe Nebraska would be the best one, because we can follow that road, can't we? Okay, so let's come out of there. Now, I've used the APC, and we could use a Humvee or a truck as well to take them as well, because this enables you to bring the NPCs along with you. Oops. Because what we're going to do at some point is we're going to stop and we're going to let them out, and then we're going to tell them to go somewhere, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So here we go. Off we go. Unfortunately, you can't use third person, I don't think, at the moment. In these. Now, I've done a little bit of testing, and I don't think the NPCs, when they're on the guns, in this particular vehicle anyway, they don't use it very well, if at all. So you've got to be very careful, and the enemies, the Russians, are very handy with their RPGs, so they will take you out very, very quickly. So let's say we trundle towards near where the enemies are. So imagine the enemies are just over this hill. So we would then stop, and then we would probably get out ourselves.
Atlas, red 1-1, Alpha Main, blue on blue. Check your fucking fire. Out.
Now what you'll notice there is I got demoted to private, and I think what happens is that when you earn rank from doing something, so for example with that case for transporting some troops, it takes away the lieutenant bit and makes you a private, and you start going up again. So to get around this, you could respawn yourself, and you'd respawn a lieutenant, then you could build stuff in. So what we do now is we now go into the Game Master, and we can talk to our fellas. So we can click on their little icon, and we can say move to there. And what will happen is they'll have a quick chat, and they'll all jump out, and they will then move here. Now, if they encounter any enemies or see any enemies while they're doing something, they will engage those and start doing stuff. So that's kind of sometimes what we're relying on. So as you can see, what we now have the ability to do in Game Master is we can tell the NPCs to go somewhere. So we can do force move, where they're going to run past everybody, normal move, where they'll engage, move to relax, search and destroy. So again, let's imagine, alright, so we were coming up to, let's say there was enemies here, okay? So what we could do is if we say search and destroy, they're going to run pretty fast. So I don't always like doing that, because if we do that, they tend to move ahead of us. But I can say move relaxed, and I want you guys to move up there. Okay, and then I can play as the character, and what you'll see is they'll start moving up here, so you can move with them. Now at the moment, the mods that are meant to help, are meant to make AI follow you, I couldn't get them to work. I think there's been some updates recently to Arma Reforger, which means that a lot of the AI mods have stopped working. And what will happen is when these guys, say there were some Russians up here on the top of this hill, these guys would then start engaging them and trying to kill them in order to get up here. And once they get to the top, they'll stop. So what we'll do now is let me just show you let me show them moving a little bit faster. So I'll just move ahead a little bit. And we'll go into the Game Master. And what we'll do instead is we will select the squad and we'll say search and destroy up here. And what will probably happen is they start moving a little bit quicker. Here they go. See, now they've got a bit of a pace on them. So sometimes what you've got to do is, one of the ways I like doing this is I will move ahead as like a scout with my binoculars and my sniper rifle, moving up to where an enemy position is. And then when I'm ready, I'll call in these guys, because they will start engaging enemies as soon as they see them. There we go. So they've got here. There we go. As soon as we have a proper follow me mod, or as soon as they mod proper squads into the game, so I can be the squad leader like we would have in Arma 3, then obviously you won't need to do all this sort of stuff. There we go, squad, search the area. So as you can see, this is how we do it. Now, what you could also do is if we go into Game Master, like so, and we scroll out, we can see that actually, where are we? So, where have we gone? So, Hornbeam Valley and Nebraska. Where are my fellas? I've got myself lost already, haven't I? Here we go. Here we go. So we've got these baddies over here. Okay, so we want to take this area. So what we could do as well is, and again this is a bit cheating, so we could do. Let's move our armoured vehicle to there, and then let's grab everybody. I think, can we transport everybody over? Over here? Alright, because that just moved me. So let's drag these guys and drag them there. Okay, so let's play as the character. Just check we're in the right place. So I've teleported them. So that's pretty cool. So what I want to do now is go to the Game Master. Alright, they're probably thinking about legging it. So let's just put them on a defend so they don't do anything. And what we're going to do now is we're going to spawn in some more. Oop, don't want to do that. Entity browser. Let's spawn in an infantry squad here. Now, sometimes they can take a while to spawn in. So what we're going to do now is, so we know we want to attack this area over here. So I'm just going to say, that squad there, we're going to give it a move relaxed over to there, and that squad there, we're going to give them a move relaxed over to here, and then I'm going to play as the character. Here we go. So it should happen. What's he doing standing on top of there? So, obviously I could do this quicker. Now, when you are attacking enemy positions, I would always say, remember the sort of 3-to-1 rule, which is that you always need 3 times more attackers as you would defenders, because they do get slaughtered. Okay. You know, they will. Lots of people will die when you do this. Sometimes I think maybe the Russians are a little bit better with their automatic weapons. Here we go. In a minute they're going to start seeing the enemy, and they do run to engage. But this is pretty cool, isn't it? I tell you what, let's go in there. Let's speed them up a bit. Oh no, we're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. Little do they know what's about to hit them. Here we go. Right, contact.
Alpha main to all stations. Friendly forces are under attack at Point Arizona.
Here we go. They're engaging. Ooh, okay. So we got killed. Respawn. Let's respawn there. Deploy. And let's go into Game Master. Let's go over here and see what's going on. There's the character. How you getting on, fellas? Oh, going down. Alright, they're deploying smoke. Oh, friendly fire. Oof. We're in the tree line. Grenades are going off. Ted's at the front. We're all moving forward though. Bit of a flank on here. Can move up to these rocks. Now we've got a bit of a bug because it's giving me grief for killing Russians, so not quite sure why that's happening. And now we are capturing this base. And here we go. Here come all the friendly forces. Come on, Jerry. Come on, Ted. Anybody else? Peter? Ooh, wow. Really is sniper. There we go, and then what we could always do is we could always go into Game Master. And we could, let's put in a light infantry team. Tell them to defend this area. There we go. So we've got some buddies now. Excellent. Well done, team. Good, good, good. So we've captured the area with the help of our NPC teammates. So there we go, my friends. That is how you do it. And so if we go to the map now, we should see we've now got Idaho. I was going a completely different direction, wasn't I? And what we would now do is we would now build a radio beacon. So we go like this. Put that, say, there. And then we'll come out here.
All stations, this is Alpha Main. There's a new transmitter tower at point.
So that's now links up that with that, which now means we can now push on to all these other areas. And we can also, as well, actually what I should have done is if we go, oh, enemy in the area. So you can't build when there's enemy in the area. And we can now go off and capture somewhere else. Okay, so hopefully this will be useful. Hit like, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.